Okay, we're back at Inspiration Wednesday, and I just slammed my hands on the counter and made a weird noise. Sorry, it's going to be a kind of weird day. So anyway, what I'm talking about today, and I want to share with you, is something we haven't really talked about before, and that is where the horizon is on whatever you're creating. And of course, you know the horizon line is where the sky meets the land, ground, however you want to put it. In art, it's that same idea, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a landscape. So you're going, why the world does she have magazines out? One of the easiest ways and most fun ways, for me anyway, to find placement or horizon lines or get ideas for where I want to put things on an art journal page or on a painting is to look at magazines. So when I say look at magazines, I don't mean, oh, look, here's a pretty backyard and here's another one and here's a cute donkey. That's not what I mean. I'm saying you divide the page and the images into sections. So I'm going to look at this as this is one image and this is another. This is an entire image. It takes up the entire page. So when I'm talking about looking at magazines to find inspiration or get ideas for where you want to place things in your art journal, I'm talking about looking at the page. So this is a double page spread, and what they've done is they've clearly taken out both pages. And if I were looking at this for inspiration for art, I would go, okay, the main focal is right here. This is the focal point. And then this is the extra, okay? Which really has nothing to do with horizon line, but you can see the horizon line is back here. It's further down the page. If I'm looking at placement in a magazine to figure out where I want to put things, it's this. Okay, so they did this portion and this portion. So this is a whole section, this is a whole section, and then there's a, kind of a divider right in the middle. Over here, they did a vertical. This is one section and this is one section. So there isn't really one focal on this page. The horizon is divided. So there's something above and something below. Same thing over here. So here's what I want to talk about today after this huge long intro. With horizon line, you're going to look at, do I want it to be halfway in the page, or do I want it to be above that halfway point? Okay, so this is one. This one is image here, halfway. Here's kind of the half. So it's above that horizon line, or it's a higher horizon line, and then the rest is up here. Okay, this will take a minute maybe for you to catch on to, and that's totally fine. So this one, on this page, the image again is not literally halfway because this is about the halfway. So it's above that halfway mark on the page. And then there's a larger portion down here, okay? So I'm not even looking that they've divided these up. This is really pretty, by the way. I'm not looking that they've divided these images. I'm looking at this is a whole and this is a whole. So where the page is concerned, they're going from here up. I'm going from the top to the bottom and deciding, okay, if this is halfway for the entire page, then they've put the image above this mid-horizon line, okay? So this one is even more clear. On this side, all of this image, and then here's the smaller part at the bottom. So if the horizon line, if we were to say it was in the middle, it'd be right here. They went so much further down, which I love, and then put the extra down here. You're seeing this a lot. I know you're seeing this a lot in some of those landscapes that have, which I'm going to do here in just a minute, that have a lot of sky and a little bit of land. And then you have the ones that have a whole lot of land and a little bit of sky. So let me show you one that I did a really long time ago. This was done with pan pastels. So it's really chalky and it'll get everywhere, as you can see. So what I did is I took the horizon line and put it way down here. There's the sky, there's the land, They're the images. So this is an asymmetrical because it's all on one side, and then the horizon line is down here. Okay, so let's see what that looks like. So this was a journal page I did like forever ago. I don't have a date on it. I think it was 2018, whatever, doesn't matter. But it's an example of how you can look at. So you can look at your magazines and figure out exactly what you want, where you want, and how you want things to show up. So I'm going to do a quick one right here. I'm just going to use watercolor. And I'm going to put the horizon line way down here, like the one I just showed you. So I'm going to put, this will all be sky, this will all be ground. It doesn't have to be sky and ground. It can also be abstract. It can be florals. It can be anything where you decide where you're going to divide your page. If I was dividing it in half, it would be right here. I'm going to divide it down here, like the one I just did. So this will all be sky and this will be land. Hopefully. Let's see if we can do it that way. And I'm going to attempt watercolor. Y'all know I am not a watercolor artist, but man, I like playing with it. So for this, I'm going to start with the sky, simply because it's watercolor. I guess I would start that way anyway, whether it was watercolor. Okay, I'm just going to paint and we're just going to go for it. So I want to bring that all the way down, and I know that the closer it gets to the ground, possibly, the darker it's going to get as sky goes. Possibly. Doesn't have to, but possibly. See if I can throw a little purple in there for some fun. Okay, so there's a start. I'm going to come back and bleed some of that up. Go lighter. And see if I can go even lighter, which will be a trick. I don't know if I can or not. We'll see. So what I want to do also is maybe, no, I think I'm going to leave it like that. So I'm going to leave this as it is for the moment. Maybe blend that out a little bit. That's one of the things I love about watercolor is you can go back and play with it even after it's down if you catch it really quickly. Okay, I'm going to hold on to that. So I'm going to put the bottom in, and what am I going to do here? Let's do this olive and some of that and see how that works. I'm not really throwing a sun in here. I'm not going to do any type of necessarily massive focal point, that sort of thing. I'm just going to play a little bit just to give you the idea of what I'm doing here. Okay, so there we've got basically the sky, the horizon down below the center, and some land type stuff. So let's see if I can go back. I may not be able to do this, but I'm going to try it anyway, because why not, right? Let me try this one and this one, and just maybe, yeah, we can kind of play with that a little bit. Drop a little bit of that in. Go back with my smaller one. Okay, so now I want to go back and play with this sky a little bit and see what I can do. I just got this. I don't know if this is gonna work, so we're just gonna do it live and see what happens. I've never used it before. This is gouache. It's quite opaque. It's very cool. I have no idea how it's gonna work, so let's just see what happens, shall we? Yeah, so it lets me add a little bit of white on top of this. So it's always fun to play with new things. Maybe a little more white in there. Haven't used gouache before, so we're just gonna do this live. How about that, y'all? Why not, right? Okay, so maybe we'll bring it across a little bit. There. Literally, this is the idea. This is what I'm doing. I'm probably gonna leave it like this since, okay, there we go. But you have the idea that what I've done is taken it and dropped that horizon line. And as I said, this isn't just for landscapes. You can do this with anything on your painting. Okay, so let me do another one real quick. That was fun. Let's do another one. Okay, yay, let's do another one. All right, this time, blah, blah, blah. Let's do the landscape way up here. This is a little nerve-wracking because I don't know what I'm gonna put down here. Okay, but let's do it. Let's do that horizon line way up here. I just said landscape, I meant horizon line. Way up here. And, okay, so I'm gonna do it up here. And again, I'm gonna start with the sky. This time, I think I want to go a little bit darker. Because then I think I'll come back and use that white. Again, that gouache is pretty cool. Maybe we'll do something different. Probably not the right color purple for a sky, but okay, we'll just play. How about that? Playing is always good. And with watercolor, you can always pull some of it out if you're not loving it. And all I'm doing, the brush has just a tiny bit of water in it. And because this is still wet, I can just go back in and remove some of what I don't want. I kind of like that. So how about if I go back, where's my orange? Ooh, let's do some orangey corally something in there. Not great, not bad. Let's go back to the purple. I like the purple better. Of course, you know, purple and orange are opposites on the color wheel, so that makes it a little more challenging. Oh, there we go. All right, enough of that. I'm going to go in and do the ground, and I think let's do Let's go back to that really weird, funky. I like this one. I like that color green. Whoops, too much of that other one. I want to go back this way. There we go. So here's what we're going to do. See what we can come up with here. This may not work, and you know what? That's okay, because if it doesn't work, I'll learn that, don't do that anymore. So what if I did... kind of that. I don't know, we'll see what happens, right? We'll just see what happens. More water. Whoops, wrong one. Okay, so now let's go back with some orange. This really is about the horizon line, y'all. It really is. I've gotten started playing and I don't want to stop. So then if I go back, okay, so I'm gonna finish this up and I'll show you when I'm done, but this is basically the idea of your horizon line. So it's either up high, like this one, or it's lower like this. You can do it right in the middle, but it's always better if you think about dividing into thirds vertically. So this one, here, let me do it this way. So here's 1/3 and here's 2/3. Whoopsie. So you can see how this would work. So it's not right in the middle, it gives it more interest. Okay, I'm going to finish this one up. I'll just drop the picture in when I'm done. And try this in your art journal and pull out some magazines and start looking at them, not for the pictures, but the placement of where things are. All right, see you later.